everyone. Welcome to our session, our live session on YouTube and Discover. I'm Teresa George, Head of Nutrition Services for South at HealthifyMe, and joining me today is Mridu Das, our Senior Fitness Expert.
Hello everyone, wish you all a very happy new year.
We all know that the most common, the most infamous New Year resolution that we have is weight loss. So we start with great enthusiasm, a lot of dedication, a lot of discipline and resolve, and we are quite successful with our New Year weight loss resolution in the first month, in the first week, but by February, somewhere in between, we lose steam, right? And then we are back to square one. This is the same story every single year. The next year, the following year, this becomes our number one resolution all over again. So, how do we ensure that this year we have a happy ending to this story? To help you get started and start strong with your New Year resolution, we are doing this session today. So I look forward to answering all your questions about how to set strong New Year resolutions, how to stick with it, and how to complete it by the end of this year. To get started, Mridu, maybe you could just give us some tips on,
Sure.
from a fitness perspective, how do we get started with our New Year resolutions? What kind of New Year resolutions should we be, putting forth?
Well, before we get to the fitness routines side of things, let's just talk about habit formation. I mean, that's one thing which, we might start with a lot of enthusiasm, and then
Right.
before even the habit forms, we just tend to give up for, numerous reasons. Like, there can be like valid reasons, but then, yeah, we do tend to give up. So, here's the trick, guys. I mean, this is according to the studies which show that a person to form a habit, or rather a body to form a habit, it takes about 21 days, right? So if you are at some, let's say a routine, let's say you're following a proper exercise routine, or maybe it's a diet routine, and you get started, make sure you are continuing it at least for 21 days to, let's say, 25 days. Right? Once a person goes into a routine for 21 to 25 days, then the body itself starts, responding to the routine.
Recognizing the routine and
then gradually the body itself wants it later on.
Okay.
Right? So the initial 21 days, I would say, is very, very crucial to, stay on track and for the sustainability bit. Next thing I would like to say is in terms of workouts, right? It's not necessary that all of us, we have to hit the gym or do some very strenuous workout in order to lose weight, or let's say primarily lose weight. So it can be something we enjoy doing. It can be something like as simple as maybe a game of badminton,
Right.
or maybe taking up cycling, maybe taking up running. That can be as simple as that. It's not necessary that we have to stick to some very stringent routine in order to reach our goals.
Right. So actually here, just to, interrupt you just for a second
Sure.
here, one thing that I have noticed is that a lot of our, a lot of our clients come back saying that, I want to lose 25 kgs, I want to lose 10 kgs, 15 kgs. Here, do you think it's great to start off with such a large goal, or is it better? Because somewhere in between, you're thinking that, oh, I've lost only one, I have another 24 more to go. Right. So does it make sense to set such large goals, or do we start off with something maybe a little bit more achievable, or, which is not so daunting?
Well, to get to that, it's definitely good to have the realistic goal in mind.
Yeah,
But then again,
I guess.
if you are looking at the bigger picture, okay, if you are trying to lose about, let's say, 20 kgs, right? Okay, keep that in the back of your head that you have to lose 20 kgs. But then break it down into smaller goals.
Okay.
It's not very encouraging, or I mean, you might be demotivated very soon if you look at the larger picture all the time, right?
Right.
But if you, let's say, break it down to 2 kgs a month,
Okay.
then it sounds more realistic, more doable, and it's easy.
Yeah.
Right?
So 500 grams a week, something.
Probably, yeah.
Even you break it down even
Yeah,
smaller.
Even 250 grams
Yeah.
in a week is pretty much good.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
that's
that
good.
way, setting smaller goals, yes, definitely is a good idea. But then yes, you always should have the bigger picture in the back of your head.
Okay.
I would not say that put that in priority.
Okay.
Another thing which also is pretty much demotivating, when I speak to my clients, I find this, this occurs a lot of times, right? So the clients do check their weights almost on a regular basis,
Yes.
right?
True.
That's, I'm sure you
True,
even
true.
when you have gone through that.
Yes, yes.
So I suggest all of you, don't check your weight on a regular basis. That's not very important. Probably once in 10 days, once in 15 days is a good interval. Then you would not just have a better picture of what have you been doing. Also, it, it gives you a bit more motivation in terms of, okay, I have achieved this, I have achieved that. Now this is my next goal. So setting up a roadmap and sticking to it, or aligning it to your whatever weight loss you have achieved, that's something which I would suggest is more realistic.
Great. Yeah. That's nice.
So yeah, setting up smaller and achievable goals.
Absolutely. And similarly, when we also, along with setting up your small goals, what you can also do is find a partner, right? Find a
Absolutely.
partner, find
Absolutely.
someone who is who shares the same goal, who is interested in the similar things that you are interested in, and then together, when you have a friend or a partner along with you, it just makes the whole journey a lot more enjoyable. So that is something else that you
That's
can
definitely
do.
is very important. I mean,
Yeah.
to surround yourself with like-minded people, with people
Yeah.
who have similar goals, is very, very important. I mean, if you're, let's say, if you're the partner, I would say, is a very lazy person, right?
Yeah.
He or she would not
That's
want
not
to do
going
much.
to help at
That's
all.
absolutely
Yeah.
not going to help. I
Yeah.
mean, you'll have to get rid of that. Or
True.
maybe if you don't completely get rid of that, at least get some motivation from somewhere else, right? It's all about keeping yourself motivated, staying at it, and having like very, very small, realistic goals, and you'll definitely be able to achieve it.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Next thing, I guess, nutrition part, if I have to come to that,
Yeah.
probably you'll be able to speak about it better. I get to hear from a lot of my clients that there are like numerous different diets which are really famous on the internet, right?
Absolutely.
So probably that's something we would like to focus on more. Let's say the fad diets which are everywhere these days. So Tessa, why don't you probably speak about it something?
Sure, we'll be happy to. So, welcome again, guys. Just to tell you that we would be happy to take any of your questions that you have regarding your New Year resolutions. We are here to help you start strong with your New Year resolutions and stick with it, right? So, Prerna, welcome to our session. Just to tell you about the fad diets, something that it's so popular, right? And so people start off. It's about 3 months of celebrations that we are done with, starting from October, November, and then it culminates with Christmas and New Year. So at the end of that 3 months, people have pretty much eaten everything that they want to, and consumed all the sweets under the sun, and now they just want to detox, cleanse themselves, rid themselves of all the extra weight. This is the time when a lot of a lot of folks that we know go in for fad diets, crash diets, water diets, diets which assure you of a 25 kg weight loss in like a month, in 2 months. But do remember, guys, that when this weight loss, the faster you lose the weight, the faster it's going to come back. And especially if it's not done in a scientific manner, then you have actually just lost muscle mass and you haven't actually lost your fat. So that is a serious concern that we always have with these fad diets. So definitely I don't recommend starting off on a fad diet. It's not going to get you very far, and sometimes it's just not sustainable either, right? So with fad diets, you probably get off it faster than you got onto it. So that is something.
Prerna has
I
a
know.
question there.
Yes. So she has a question which says, I have a hectic job with no fixed working hours, and I do want to start working out as my back hurts with long hours at the desk. I want to start strong to ensure I don't have this annoying pain. How can I start working out given my scenario, right? So yeah. So this is a question by
Kunal.
Yeah.
Hi Kunal, welcome to the live. Well, Kunal, since you have a desk job, I think you already have identified the root of your problem, right? Probably because you are sitting for long hours and your core muscles are not as strong as it should be. That's I'm sorry, that can be one reason that you have the back pain. Well, it's, I mean, back pain is basically an umbrella term that can be like a lot of underlying reasons. But then what I would suggest is, as a very basic suggestion, avoid forward bending and lifting weights, lifting heavy weights. So first of all, you need to think about making your back strong, right? Focus on core muscle strengthening exercises like probably planks, as simple as that. So start doing planks with, let's say, around 10 seconds of hold if you can stay at it. Then probably increase after every 3 to 4 days. You can keep going, increasing that maybe by 15 to 20 seconds, and so on. So that will considerably help you. Also, you can do some stretches. For example, stretches for hamstrings, stretches for your quadriceps. These are also going to help you, considering you have a sitting job. So yeah, probably that should help you, Kunal. Do connect with us for more questions.
So we have one more question which says, how do I keep myself hydrated during winter? Um, so water is definitely the best form of hydration. It's the least amount of calories. It's 0 calories. Anything else will add to your calories. So a definite no-no is aerated drinks and sugary drinks. But water is the best form. Other than this, people tend to have a lot of hot teas and hot coffee and something warm that way. So avoid the tea and the coffee beyond say 2 cups. I would, I'm not taking it away from you completely, because in winter that's next to impossible. But you can have more soups, you can have more broths, which is like a clear liquid. Say for example, a vegetable broth, which is just the water in which the vegetables are cooked with a pinch of salt. So you can have a lot more broths. Definitely, but water is one of the best. Now, how often are you going to be drinking water? How do you remind yourself to drink water? Because in winter, we don't really feel thirsty. So one way to do it is by using, the app. Our app, the HealthifyMe app. You can set reminders for yourself. You can even set reminders on your phone. It's very simple. Every 1 hour, maybe taking a glass of water. Every 2 hours, in case you find 1 hour, maybe too close an interval, you can have it every 2 hours. You can set reminders and ensure that you consume at least 1.5 liters of water every day. So this is the only way actually to keep yourself hydrated.
Well, Teresa, I guess we have another question from Radhika. So she's basically asking how to cut down on cravings in the very initial stage of the diet.
Right, very true. So Prerna, one, that is why we don't recommend actually fad diets, because with fad diets your cravings do tend to increase after a point in time. So when you take a balanced diet, what I'm talking about a balanced diet is eat your regular normal food, right? Just ensure that you're having more protein and more fiber. So when you feel more satiated, that is when you feel more full, it reduces your cravings. One way to feel more full is by having more fiber, is by consuming more proteins in your diet, right? Depending on whether you're a vegetarian or a non-vegetarian, choose your sources accordingly and have them. Over a period of time, a little amount of self-discipline is definitely required. No diet, no weight loss program is successful without some amount of discipline. So we can't take that away, 100%. But with a little bit of discipline and with the right kind of eating, choosing the right kind of foods that you are consuming, whether it is salads, whether it is the right kind of fruits, even having nuts. Nuts are a great way to cut your cravings, because they also contain healthy fats. So that is one way. It's also a good source of protein. These are some of the ways in which you can cut your cravings. At the end of a week, another way to do it is to reward yourself at the end of a week, right? So if you have stuck to your diet, to your portion control, to eating clean, eating right, at the end of the week, probably on a Sunday, you can reward yourself with something sweet, right? With maybe half a slice of whatever is your craving, or maybe 4 spoons of whatever is your craving. If it's ice cream, if it's a pizza, if it's if it's anything else, right? Whatever you crave the most, you can reward yourself with that, but again, only in limited portions. I'm so sorry, I'm not telling you that you can have as much as you want at the end of the week, but that will set you back by an entire week if you do that. So don't do that. Do reward yourself, but reward yourself in limited quantities, right? You can
Well,
do
I guess
that.
I was about to ask you on the same line.
Yeah.
So, what about cheat days? Like, how do you? I mean, again, this is another question. I guess a lot of us would want to ask
Yep.
to a nutritionist. Like, what do you do on a cheat day?
Yeah.
Because
So again, this is something very common that we keep telling our clients. There is no cheat day. There is only a cheat meal. So you can't cheat the entire day and expect to
Of course.
have complete weight loss at the end of it. But you can have a cheat meal, right? So even if it's a biryani that you're craving for on a Sunday, go ahead and have it, right? But after that, you need to get back to it by evening. By dinner time, you should be back to your diet. So you don't cheat the entire day, but you definitely can have a cheat meal. That's one way to do it. But pick a day and stick to that day of the week, right? So if it's a
Yeah.
Sunday, usually most people, it's family time on Sunday, and that's when it's most difficult to stick to a diet. So you can do it on a Sunday, but stick to that day and stick to one meal.
Well, I
So
guess
that's something.
that's about rewarding yourself for the entire day's hard work.
Absolutely. Entire week's
Week's hard
hard
work,
work.
rather,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
So again, another question which we are taking is from Almas.
Hi
says-
Almas, welcome
Hi,
to our
Almas.
session.
He said how to reduce backside and front side, I believe that is. So, well, Almas, that's a myth which probably is surrounding the fitness area a lot. That there's something called spot reduction, which is a myth, right? There's spot reduction if you're trying to achieve is not really gonna happen. Well, that's if you are trying to reduce your weight, think about your overall body weight or your overall fat percentage, right?
Yes.
So do some kind of workout, probably cardio, or probably mix up some cardio with strength training. Cardio, if I have to break it down, let's say walking, as simple as that, or maybe going for a jog, or going for a cycling, or maybe swimming, things like that.
Yeah.
Can be done, and along with that, don't forget to add a little bit of strength training exercises, because what cardio exercise would do is it'll definitely cut down on your fat, but then over a certain period of time it'll also start burning muscles, right? Burning the lean muscles of your body. So to compensate that, you will have to take care of some amount of strength training exercises. It can be as simple as push-ups, squats, planks, simple, very basic body weight exercises would also help. But then, yeah, make sure that with whatever cardio exercise you do, make sure you're combining with it with some amount of strength training exercises.
Right.
That will be very important.
And also, you need to ensure that your diet is good.
Absolutely.
Right? So, when you are doing cardio and strength training, you have to increase your protein intake, the right kind of protein in the right form, and you need to reduce your carbs. So, when we are talking about protein, it is your lean meat, which is your lean chicken, your boiled eggs. You can have milk, dairy products, all of this, not a problem. Again, dairy products, no cheese, no butter, but you can definitely have milk. Certain amount of paneer is also possible. You need to increase your overall protein intake, right? So that is what ensures that you build muscle and you lose fat while doing all of these exercises. We have a question from Prerna. Welcome Prerna to the session. Happy to answer your query. Happy New Year to you. Prerna says that she has a thyroid problem and she's not able to lose weight. She had a C-section in September 2018. Firstly, Prerna, congratulations on your baby. You have just had a C-section this September, which is roughly about 3 months, 4 months since your surgery, right? So don't worry about the weight loss at this point in time, because you will also be feeding the baby, so that is a possibility. You will require the additional calories during your lactation period. Right now is a good time for you to start some amount of physical activity. It could be just a walk for 20 minutes, a brisk walk for 20-25 minutes, right?
Definitely.
You could start off with something like that just to begin with. Yes, thyroid does affect the metabolism. People do tend to gain weight with a thyroid issue, but it's not impossible. In HealthifyMe, we have been extremely successful with some of our thyroid clients, and we've been able to give them some fantastic results. I think all it requires is for you to eat right and do the right kind of exercises, right? And of course, to stay on track, stay motivated, start strong this year, right? Stay focused. Don't lose heart. This is a tough period for most new mothers. This is the initial, 3 to 6 months is a tough time. But the point is to stay positive and start with some simple exercises. Even that 30 minutes of walk will give you some time to yourself, some personal time to yourself. You can just clear your head and get back to looking after the baby and managing the entire routine. So the important thing is to stay positive, start with some amount of physical activity, and your diet will be taken care of, as we progress along, as you progress. With thyroid, you need to take care of certain vegetables that you shouldn't be consuming too much of. Basically, these are called cruciferous vegetables. They are, your leafy vegetables like cauliflower, broccoli, a cabbage, these kind of vegetables. You can have it maybe once a week and one of them in a cooked form, right? So take care of these simple things. I hope you're taking your medication on time and in the right manner. That's also very important. How much more calories should I consume? Prerna has one more question. Yes, Prerna. So ideally from your current, so if you are already consuming say 1300 or 1400 calories, you can go up by another 500 calories, but the existing 1400 calories should be from the right source, right? So if you're eating a lot of fried stuff, if you're eating a lot of carbohydrates, you need to watch out for that. That is something which you shouldn't be having. Instead, you consume more of milk products. You can have more protein, more dals, pulses, more of vegetables, and increase your overall calorie intake in that manner. You can also include a lot more, seeds and nuts. The seeds are very popular these days. Chia seeds, flax seeds, these are some of the things that you can add into your diet. Wow, so good to see. It's really buzzing out here. We've got so many questions coming in. Thank you everyone for joining us. Wish you all a very happy new year, and we're here to help you start strong this new year.
So, I think I'll.
Yeah,
Shruti has a question. Hi, Shruti. Welcome to the live again. So you want to do a 25K this year and you want to know how to get started. I'm assuming you have not done anything yet, so I'll just talk on that perspective. So, well, based upon when your goal is, right, when you want to do this 25K, you can start with simple basic runs, right? Do a short run, maybe let's say around 2 to 3 kilometers if you haven't started yet with anything. And probably on a weekend you can go for a longer run, and then you can just progress on the numbers. And do make sure you keep yourself hydrated. That will be very, very important. As you increase your pace, or as you increase your distance. And to get to 25K, if you are a beginner, will need a lot of attention. Do take care of strengthening exercises as well. So at least about 2 to 3 days of strengthening exercises in the week will be important for you. So strengthening exercises and runs would be the key to it. And of course, hydration, and needless to say, the diet will be equally important as well. So good luck with the 25K, and do reach back to us if you have any more queries.
With the 25K, you have to take care of your diet. So pre and post workout becomes very, very important.
Absolutely.
Also before a major run, so obviously you would start off with a 5K and then slowly increase your pace to a 25. So with all of that, you need to take care of your diet. You need to have the right amount of proteins, you need to have the right amount of calories. You need to ensure that you are eating the right amount of carbs just before your run, so that you build up your glycogen stores. These are all simple tips that we can do. We would be more than happy to help you out if you're actually serious about getting started with your 25K. Great.
I think Nishan has a question in terms of diet, right? So
how can we stick to a good dietary regime? Nishant, firstly, don't call it a regime, because that's going to put you off more than anything else, right? So let's just talk about how do we stick to a good diet, right? How do we eat clean? I love saying that because you know that immediately it just makes you feel a lot healthier, right? So the first thing is that you know, specifically if you're talking about the new year, you should be doing a good detox. A good cleansing routine is what you should be doing, right? So cleanse your system. Our body produces toxins all the time, and it is our you know, excretory system that pulls it out of it. Now the first thing that you need to do is to ensure that you're eating right, eating clean, eating a lot more fiber, because that's one great way to cleanse your system. Drinking a lot of water, because that increases your metabolism, and at the same time it helps to you know, flush out the toxins in your body. Again, stay away from oily fried food. I think we've done more than enough of it in the last 3 months. Try and stay away from the sweets and the chocolates. It's been, you know, the festival season is over and we want to start right. We want to start on the right note, and these are a couple of things that, you know, you would have to limit, right? So eating clean, eating right is one way. Start with small things. So you don't need to completely cut out everything from your diet that you love. What you can do is add more of fruits and vegetables. The minute you start increasing your quantities of fruits and vegetables, you will find yourself feeling a lot more full, right? So that that tendency of that hunger, those hunger cravings will come down. Your food cravings will come down, and it will help you to start losing weight, right? So the first thing is add more fruits and veggies, increase your quantity of water that you are consuming, and you know, just ensure that you're eating clean. When I say clean, avoid your processed foods, avoid your packaged foods, you know, reduce your fried food consumption, and reward yourself, as we were talking about it. Reward yourself at the end of, you know, a week or 2 weeks, so that you don't have any kind of cravings. These are just simple ways in which, you know, with our existing food at home, we can start off on a good diet, right? You don't need to do any kind of crazy diets for that. Great. I hope I've answered your query. Varun says, is wheat chapati or boiled rice good for a weight loss program? He also says spot reduction is possible by liposuction. Yes, it is. Right? So spot reduction is definitely possible. Let me answer that first. Spot reduction is possible by liposuction, but since we're not talking about medical interventions and we're talking about natural interventions, you know, through exercise, spot reduction is, there is, I believe there is no concept of spot reduction. It's just about overall weight loss, and when you exercise, you know, when you exercise, your entire body fat loss happens and you reduce weight that way.
Also about the sustainability. I mean,
right.
With you know, medical interventions or any other form of interventions, the sustainability bit, the way where you are building a habit, which we were talking about earlier, is completely missing. That so we will have. I mean, that's a very important factor that we'll have to think about, to make a habit out of it and then stay at it probably lifelong. So a healthy habit or a fitness regime, it's not that, you know, it's a temporary measure.
Yeah, it's a lifestyle change.
It's about lifestyle change. It's about how you, you know, take a shower every day, brush your teeth every day. It has to be something like that.
Absolutely.
Or let's say if I mean, it might sound daunting as of now, so maybe, you know, start with very small goals. Again, I'll just quote myself when I started. So start with very small goals and just build upon it. Sure. So that's probably is more realistic.
Great. And Varun, to answer your query on wheat chapati or boiled rice, both are good, but don't have both of them together in the same meal, right? So that's the only bit that you need to take care of. But wheat chapatis are good, boiled rice is good. In fact, there is something like brown rice, there is red rice, right? All of these are good. Not a problem at all. What you do need to take care of is that you're not combining both in the same meal, or that you're not consuming too much of it in one meal, right? For example, 5 chapatis is not advisable, but 2 chapatis is great, and for a guy 3 chapatis is also fine, right? Similarly with rice, we need to limit the quantity of rice. Well, thank you so much. We'd like to make a special mention to Prerna. Thank you so much, Prerna. She says, you know, she's tracking her diets on our app, And I'm so happy to hear, Prerna, that you're able to eat, eat better, eat properly. You're able to control your diet and check what you're eating. Thank you so much for that. Thank you, everyone. Thanks, Mridu, for joining us today. It's been a wonderful session interacting with all of you. I hope we've helped you to start strong.
I guess I'll have just a small word of advice, maybe a take-home message. So it's I'm gonna quote my friend. So it's not about what you did since Christmas to New Year. It's about what you're gonna do since New Year to the next Christmas. So yeah.
Absolutely, that's so nice. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you, everyone.